Chapter.
What about this one?
We're waiting for a camera from, you can turn it if you want.
Right now we just have the camera on mat 1, waiting for camera for mat 2.
Test 1, 2. All right. Looks like we have a winner on mat 1.
Way to go, Daphne. On mat 2 here, this is the 105-pound weight class. Brown and Bear Thompson. Here on mat 2, we have a tie. Period 2, 1:14 left, 4-4. We have a pin. We have a pin on mat 1. We have Wyson from Thompson, McDonald from Daphne. Wyson is a 7th grader. McDonald is an 8th grader. 105-pound weight class. The camera is still on mat 2. Thompson 6, Brown 4, period 3. On mat 1, we have a takedown from Daphne, escape from Thompson. We're getting the camera set up so we'll be able to do 2 mats. .45 seconds left on mat 2. Thompson 10, Kaylin Brown 10, Zoe Blair 6. Mat 2, 2-1 Daphne. We have a winner on mat 2, Kaylin Brown over Zoe Bear, both from Thompson. Great job, girls. Let's move the camera to mat 1. Tied up on mat 1. 105-pound weight class. Coming up on mat 2, 120-pound weight class, Cherkop from Daphne, 7th grade, and Kelly, a senior from Northside Methodist. Thompson pins Daphne.
Hey, we may have everything set up.
Excellent.
So
we have 2 mats going.
Welcome to Matburn. Welcome to the first girls wrestling tournament in high school in Alabama. This is Scott Allen here with Matburn and Dr. Julie Lasserre.
We're so excited to be here. We've got some great wrestling going here. Coming up on mat 1, we've got Lasserre, 7th grade from Daphne.
If Lasserre's up, we're switching over.
Yes, that's my kid. And Vines from 8th grade from Thompson, 120-pound weight class.
pin over on 2. We'll show you the winner.
We've got a winner here on mat 2. That's Northside Methodist over Daphne.
Back to mat 1. Julie's daughter's wrestling.
Ayana from Thompson has a lot of experience wrestling. In her bio, she's in wrestling since the kindergarten, and her brother also wrestles for Thompson. And she just got the pin here. Great job, Ayana.
Anaya used to be one of my wrestlers.
She's good.
No boy in the state wants to wrestle her.
No.
And we'll switch back to mat 2. We have a wrestler in danger on mat 2. And Thompson gets the pin. Julie Lasser is the chairwoman of Alabama Girls Wrestling. What is it called?
Alabama High School Girls Wrestling Task Force.
Task Force. That's the word I was looking for. So this is a very historic day for us.
It is. This has taken a lot of work from a lot of people. We had a good number of tournaments scheduled this year. Of course, with COVID, that gave us some restrictions until January 1st. In this particular tournament, we could only have 4 teams. So these are the 4 teams in Alabama with the most girls. We've got Thompson with 17 girls, Daphne with 8, WS Neal has 7, and Northside Methodist with 5.
You picked a good year to have our debut.
We did. We've got a takedown here with Daphne, mat 1. Let's see who's this wrestling. We've got S. Adams, Daphne, 8th grade.
And there's a pin.
And Robinson, and there's a pin, 150-pound weight class.
Okay, we switch back over to mat 2.
So mat 2, this is the 140-pound weight class, both from Thompson. Sims is a freshman, and Islas, 8th grade. Can you put that? So mat 1. We've got Kaylee Holder from Daphne and Northside Methodist. Refresh my track wrestling here. This is Chandler from Northside Methodist. He's a senior. We got a takedown by Kaylee. Chandler's in trouble. Quick pin. Kaylee Holder has some experience wrestling. She wrestled last year for Daphne and pretty much just wrestled the boys. So this is her first girls tournament, and she's so excited to see this happen. She's also one of our captains. at Daphne.
And a winner on that too.
So what's interesting this year is we have 120 girls registered in Alabama. 120 girls registered in Alabama, as opposed to last year we had 40. That is an incredible increase in 1 year. I can't think of too many sports that have increased in numbers by that much.
I think you said if they build it, they will come.
Yes, and that's exactly it. It just took the exposure, coaches recruiting, the girls. These girls have been waiting for this. We just needed to make it happen.
What do you think?
It's great.
This is
yes.
Great. What's up, Coach? We can interview you.
All right, so we have Coach JT Gosnell of WS Neal.
Hi, how's it going?
Great. We want to thank you so much for hosting this great tournament. This has been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Absolutely. This is awesome.
JT's been on the task force. We're all on task force, all of us here, and have worked together. Really, it's been almost a year in the making, right?
Yeah, not quite a year, about 9 or 10 months, but yeah.
It started as a vision about this time last year, came to fruition in the spring, and that's really what has been our singular goal all summer.
I'm sorry, I just got caught up in the action. What was that?
It's too exciting, isn't it? Looks like this is the 165-pound weight class. Lance from WS Neal, 8th grade, and Thompson, that's Nigan. I'm sure I am just destroying these last names.
So I can help you with the WS Neal. The girl over here on mat 2, that's Zaylin Morton.
Okay.
She's an 8th grader. Over here on mat 1 is Viscaya Lance, and she is also in the 8th grade.
Now mat 2, Morton's opponent for the 150-pound weight class is T. Hudson, freshman from Thompson.
We're going to go over to Mount 1 where the coach Gosnell is coaching his wrestling.
Excellent. That'll do.
That's fine. We got all night.
For period 2, we've got Morton, WS 5, and Thompson 3. Here on mat 1, second period, we've got WS 2 and Thompson 1.
Now we're on.
Had a little malfunction there. We're back up.
Working through our technical difficulties in our
We
first
have
match here.
We have mat 2 up.
You want to switch over to 2? We're not on 2.
We have a pin on mat 2. Looks like Thompson pins WS Neal late into the second period. All right, heading up to mat 2, we've got Sasser, a junior from Daphne. And we have Crow, an 8th grader from Thompson, 225-pound weight class.
We'll switch back to
Second
Mount
period,
one.
5 seconds left. 6-1. WS Neal on top.
Over here now.
Yep, that too. Got some good matches on these two.
Yep. Switching to Mount one. We have an escape on Mat 2. Mount 1's over.
Got a pin for the WS Neal. Eighth grader Lanch over Nigan, 8th grade. Got a takedown by Daphne over Thompson. So a little background history for those of you watching. When it comes to state sanctioning of girls wrestling in the United States, there are currently 29 states who have sanctioned girls wrestling, which means in their states, in their state application, girls wrestling is a separate sport. So it would be no different as girls cross country, boys cross country, girls swimming, boys swimming. Really, wrestling right now is, in many states, is the only sport where girls actually compete against boys at all ages. Here in Alabama, we have a pin here by Daphne. Great job. So here in Alabama, we have not sanctioned girls wrestling as of yet. That is our ultimate goal, to make it a separate sport from the boys. However, this year we do have several girls tournaments. On January 23rd at the Crossplex in Birmingham, we will have a girls' state tournament. It will differ from the boys in that it will not be a qualifying tournament. Any girl who is registered can compete in this tournament. And girls in Alabama can also wrestle against the boys as well. When a state sanctions girls wrestling, the option to wrestle against boys, there is no option to wrestle against boys anymore. So it's really important that we increase as many girls' numbers of wrestlers as possible, because right now there's schools that may only have 1 or 2 girls, and that doesn't allow for a lot of matches, girl-to-girl matches. So, but judging by going from 40 girls last year to 120 this year, during a COVID year no less, we have no doubt that next year those numbers could double or triple again.
Well, Julie, it looks like I figured out how to get both mats on the same screen.
The beauty of technology.
So we got Mat 1 up in the left corner. Mat 2 is prominently displayed. I wish I could get them the same size, but that'll be for a future time. But now you won't miss any more matches.
Exactly. So the ultimate goal is when we do sanction girls wrestling is to have a separate girls qualifying state tournament. It's run in different states. Every state's run a little bit different. Some of the girls' states are run right alongside the boys, where you've got boys' mats, girls' mats. In other states, it's a completely separate tournament. It just depends on what the Alabama High School Athletic Association chooses to do at the time. AHSAA, and you can back me up on that, has been super supportive this year of girls wrestling. When it comes to sanctioning, it's not them giving the green light. We have to have a certain number of schools who agree to field a girls team, and the magic number in Alabama is 40. Last year we came just short of that. It was a tough survey vote last year because it happened in March, right around when that nasty virus came to rear its ugly head. So there were some schools that were a little nervous about sticking out there and fielding a new team completely. When that vote comes up again, whether it's next spring or in 2 years when the reclassification occurs again, we have no doubt that we'll have girls wrestling sanctioned at that time. I'd like to grab Kaylee. I'm going to grab Kaylee real quick for an interview. But I'm going to bring her over here, though, so she can stand in front of the camera.
Yeah, I'm not sure how far your microphone reaches anyways.
All right, I'm going to put someone in front of the camera. Kaylee, you're front and center right there. I'm going to stand away from you so you don't have to. Yep, there we go. All right, this is Kaylee Holder from Daphne. She's a sophomore. She got I think the fastest pin I saw in this first round here.
23 seconds.
Yes. So, Kaylee, you wrestled last year, and at that time, how many girls did you wrestle last year?
I didn't wrestle a single girl last year.
Right. So tell me what a tournament like this means to you, coming from some wrestling experience against only girls to seeing a tournament like this.
It just it makes me really happy to see that the sport's growing so much. I mean, I wouldn't put anyone in my position last year to do it again. Like, it wasn't fair to wrestle all the boys last year and never have a match with a girl. And I always got jealous whenever I saw girls wrestling girls. I thought, well, I mean, I wish I could do that, but I never got the chance to. And so this year, with this being my first ever girls tournament and my first ever girls match I just had, I think it just really means a lot that, like, the sport's evolving so much.
What is it you love about this sport?
The competition, seeing who's best.
And you play soccer, too. Tell me how wrestling can help another sport like soccer.
I get in trouble a lot at soccer for not having my knees bent, and my stance in here helps a lot with having my knees bent at soccer. So
great. Do you go into soccer season in pretty good shape?
Very good shape. I came in, got 4th in the fitness test for my girls team after not playing soccer for like 6 months. So pretty good, I'd say.
Great. So what would you say to the girls out there that might be watching this and, you know, they've never wrestled before and they think, why should I wrestle? Why should I get on the mat?
It's a family. You gain a family from this. These girls, I love them. I met them this year, most of them anyways, and I am already in love with all of them. They're so sweet. They're so kind, and they work so hard. And it's a really rewarding sport, you know. You get to see yourself grow. You can track your progress. Like last year, you might have been 25th in the state. Next year, you're 15th in the state. You know, you just grow a lot in this sport. So
great. Very well said. Well, I'll let you go. I know you want to get back with your team. Good luck for the rest of the day.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you. You're super good. I'd like to get Sean over here.
What an impressive young woman. Your daughter.
Oh, okay. All right. Excellent. All right. All right there. Well, you're probably going to kill me for this. Ellen's probably going to kill me for this one, but I grabbed her. This is Ellen's first year. In fact, she just had her first match of her life here.
Yeah.
And Ellen, tell me, it says battery level low on here.
Yes, I just got that.
Did it? Oh. Ellen, tell me why you went out for wrestling this year. Why don't you come over here? Ellen, why did you go out for wrestling this year?
So, well, my brother's always been wrestling since he was in 5th grade. So I was kind of you know what, instead of beside the mat, I kind of want to be in the mat. And plus my grandfather was also a wrestling coach. So it's kind of in our blood. So I'm just you know what, let me try wrestling. It was really fun. I can't wait till my second match.
Very good.
Yeah.
So you also play soccer. How can a sport like wrestling maybe help other sports?
Well, endurance really, because in wrestling 6 minutes, go your hardest, and it really brings up stamina for me. And in soccer it's 70-90 minutes, and you really want stamina and endurance, and this really helps to keep my stamina up, and me sprinting back and forth, it really helps.
Great. So what would you tell some other girls maybe at school who may be on the fence? Should I wrestle? Should I not wrestle? What would you tell them?
I think any girl that wants to wrestle, they should, or at least try it, because it's really fun. And I mean, at first I'm kind of I'm kind of on the fence, but I tried it and it was really fun. And again, I can't wait till my second match.
That's what we love to hear. Very good. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. I knew I'd pull you away from there for a minute. You can go back to your team now.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. We're going to figure it out. I want to grab.
Found it. It was tucked inside the handle.
All right, we're going to go right here. Okay. You're going to take this. All right, here. Can you step back just a little bit? There we are. Okay. All right. Tell me who you are, your name, your grade, and what team you're from.
My name is Brinley Glover. I'm a senior, and I wrestle for Thompson.
Excellent. How long have you wrestled?
This is actually my second year.
Your second year. So, last year, how many girls did you wrestle?
I wrestled one girl from Spanish Fort.
One. Oh, that was Mia. Is that?
Her name wasn't Mia. She's actually wrestling for Daphne this year.
Oh, okay. That's right. She is here. Yes. So, what does it mean to you to have an all-girls tournament like this?
I mean, it's super exciting to watch the sport grow, because as the only girl on my team last year, it was kind of weird just being against the boys and not being as strong as them. But then being able to wrestle girls and having the girls with me, it's just like a bunch of sisters.
So tell me, how did your team go from one girl wrestler, you, to 17?
They actually asked me this year to go to the middle school and talk about my experience with wrestling and my story and how I got here. And then they just all fled in, and it was super exciting.
That's so great. Is it neat to have a whole sisterhood of all on the mat warming up at the same time? What's that like?
It's amazing, because normally when we're warming up with the guys, it's just one guy's leading it every single time, and now I'm the only senior on the team, so I'm leading all these girls, and I'm leaving a legacy for them, and it's just super exciting.
I love how you say that. I'm leaving a legacy for them. That is just fantastic. So if you've got some girls maybe in middle school on the fence, not sure if they want to wrestle, what would you tell them? Or what did you tell these girls when you went to the middle school?
I told them just follow your heart. I mean, there's always going to be those people that are going to look down on you and say that you're not going to be able to do it. But you have to persevere and push through and know that you can and do what you want with your life.
Great. So as a senior, what's your plans next year?
Plans going to college. I might actually do have the opportunity to wrestle. I just don't know if I'm going to take it or not. but it's pretty exciting.
Well, for those of you that don't know, and you know this, I know, Brinley, there are 75, I believe 75, it may be up, maybe more than that now. It seems like every day, women's college wrestling. It is now an NCAA emerging sport, which means it will be in D1 and D2 and D3 very, very soon.
Yeah.
And there are lots of opportunities to wrestle. We had a girl on Daphne last year who now wrestles at Oklahoma City University, Michaela.
Yeah.
And she had offers from there and several other places. So if you're an athlete and you want to do a sport, this might be a way to go to college, right?
Yeah.
That's great. We have more.
Oh, hello.
Why don't you introduce your friends?
Okay, well, this is Gabby Sims, and this is Taylor Hudson.
Great. Taylor, what grade are you?
I'm a freshman.
Freshman.
I'm a freshman.
Is this your first time?
Yes, ma'am.
So what made you all go out for wrestling this year?
I wanted to wrestle because of the fact of I tried the flag wrestling when the high school came, and I thought it was pretty fun. I did well. The wrestlers told me I should try out. I did when I got the offer.
Excellent. Do you do any other sports?
No, ma'am.
Excellent.
I like it so far.
All right. What about you?
I really just joined wrestling because I thought it would be a great opportunity to meet new people and figure out what I wanted to do when it came time for college and stuff.
Yeah. Do you do any other sports?
Yes, I play soccer.
You play soccer too. It seems like we have a lot of dual soccer player wrestlers. I'm not sure what the and that was on the bios. I saw a lot of volleyball players too. I think that's a pretty good crossover with contact and agility and speed. I think that's great. All right, are you guys enjoying this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I am.
Excellent. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Good luck today, guys. Well, I'm so glad there's a break so we can interview some people.
So we can put up the break, right?
Yep, let's put up a little break. Here on mat 1, we've got Whitehead, a senior from Northside Methodist, and we've got Townsend, a 7th grader from Thompson.
And now we're back with both mats on. Hope you enjoyed the break. We did.
Again, this is Whitehead from Northside Methodist. Townsend, 7th grader from Thompson. Whitehead's a senior. This is a 130-pound weight class. That's senior Whitehead with the win and the pin over Thompson. Next up on the mat, 130-pound weight class. We've got Primo, sophomore, 1-0 from Daphne. And we've got Whitman, 8th grader, 0-2 from Thompson. Again, that's a 130-pound weight class.
Round 2, Chercott versus Lasair. This round? Yeah, round 2. Want me to get ready? Not till you're up there. Yeah, you're about 21.
Got Thompson with top control here. Primo from Daphne wrestled for Spanish Fort last year and has joined the Daphne team this year. At the end of the first period, Thompson 4, Daphne 3. That's Thompson with the pin over Daphne. Next up on the 130-pound weight class, we've got Martin, 7th grade, 0-2 with Thompson. Mcneese, freshman from Daphne.
Have we switched to a dual format? Is that what we're doing now? Thompson against Daphne?
Yeah, we switched to a dual format here, so that way everything's on mat 1. And that's the end of the first period. Thompson 2, Daphne 0.
I think what we're going to do is put our second camera on Coach Wilson.
I think that's a great idea. Here we go. He'll appreciate that, won't he?
Absolutely.
A little later on, I'd like to get the coaches to talk to us about the differences in coaching girls versus boys. We've got two very experienced coaches here. We've got Sean Welton of Thompson and Greg Jeffcoat of Daphne, formerly at Moody. These two coaches have been around a long time. Everyone in the state knows who they are. And they both spent many hours recruiting girls this year, and it shows. We've got Thompson with 17 girls, Daphne with 9. And that just goes to show if a coach is interested in expanding their team, this is a great way. Interviewing some of the girls, when I asked them what made them come wrestle, they all said it was their coaches and other wrestlers coming to their schools, explaining about wrestling. That's what's great about girls. They're willing to try a whole lot of new and different things.
You can't get a better coach than Sean Wilson. He's won the state championship at least 7 times, maybe
right.
8, including this past spring.
Right, and Jeffcoat's got some state championships under his belt as well. A different class. I think at the time, I want to say Jeffcoat was 5A state championship, 1A through 5A, and of course Thompson 7A.
I believe all the teams are doing this, but I know Sean trains his girls and his boys in the same room at the same time.
And Daphne trains together. Actually, all 4 of these trains, the girls and the boys train together. I know on the Daphne mat, the girls pair up together for the most part. Of course, they'll pair up with boy partners as well for drilling, but when it comes to live wrestling, they tend to wrestle their girl partners. But the coaching's the same. Wrestling is wrestling. Doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy, it is the same sport. And that's what's important here. These coaches coach these girls just like they do the boys.
What's your relationship with the Wrestle Like a Girl Foundation?
Great question, Scott. I appreciate that. So back this early spring, probably around January, Wrestle Like a Girl contacted the task force, the Alabama High School Girls Wrestling Task Force, and said, how can we help you? How can we help make this happen? So a little background on Wrestle Like a Girl. Founder Sally Roberts, highly decorated wrestler and also a veteran of the Armed Forces, started Wrestle Like a Girl with some other fantastic women, and with the goal of advancing youth and middle school and high school girls wrestling. Then they branched out into helping states sanction girls wrestling. Another organization who has helped us and many other states out is USA Wrestling as well. That's Joan Fulp and Andrea Yamamoto. So we developed this, I call it the dream team, with USA Wrestling, Wrestle Like a Girl. On the task force, we have coaches, administrators, principals, club coaches, people such as you and Jason Fulmore with Southeast Wrestle, just people who are interested in wrestling and came together. Wrestle Like a Girl kind of helped us put all our hats on in the right places, because they've done this before, and really helped advance our task force. So, and they continue to do so. If you look at our page, it is linked closely with Wrestle Like a Girl. In fact, our website, alabamagirlswrestling.com, will take you to the Wrestle Like a Girl website, and where we have a huge wealth of information on Alabama girls wrestling.
I don't know if you heard, but this past week, the chairman of Georgia Wrestling, who started out as the director of girls wrestling in Georgia, passed away from COVID. It was Robert Horton. He's one of my good friends, and he was incredibly supportive of girls wrestling when we first started. And he would single-handedly bring half of the girls to our tournament from Georgia, and he kept supporting us year after year. And his wonderful wife, Sherry, was also extremely involved and cared a lot about our girls. Wow, what a reversal out there.
See that? Wow, I tell you, these girls, They're going to be tired after this one. Have you been watching this match?
I have. She
Wow.
has been stuck on bottom for quite a while,
And she flipped.
looks like has some renewed energy right now.
Our Thompson wrestler is not wanting to give up that base position. She's doing great.
Stalling on red. Yeah, you can see that one coming.
A little stalling
You
on
can't
that
just
one.
hold those hands and not
Nope.
move. Let's see who won this one. We can't see the scoreboard. Next time we'll have to put the table on the other side.
Yeah. That was a good comeback,
And
but it looked like
Thompson.
Thompson had the lead there. That was a great match. That's two girls who did not give up. Scott, give us your background on the girls wrestling. You started working with girls wrestling in Alabama long before the task force came on the scene.
I can't tell you the exact year that we started, but my son started wrestling when he was 10. And I didn't wrestle myself in my youth, but I went to every practice and I studied and I asked a million questions. Pretty soon I could coach him, and then after that I got good enough to coach at youth wrestling and then middle school wrestling. Well, about the time Gabby was 7 and Manny was 12, Gabby used to come with me to practice every day, and she would sit in the corner playing with her dolls or her tablets or whatever she had. And one day she said, "Can I try it?" And I said, "I guess so." And she went out there and she did great. So she asked if she could wrestle in the tournament that Saturday. So I was very excited about it. And she went into the tournament and she won her whole weight class in her very first tournament, which is almost unheard of. And she was hooked from that point on.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But then the head coach of the club, he was on vacation that week, and he came back the next day and saw her practicing and said, "What is this?" And I said, "Well, he was anti-girls wrestling."
Oh, okay.
And he said, "If you want your daughter to coach, you're going to have to create your own team and coach her yourself." So I did. And we started out that year with 3 girls, and the next year we probably had 5 or 6, and the next year we had 12. But then probably by the 3rd year is when I said, we've been going to these Georgia tournaments. Let's see if we, how many people we can get to turn out if we hold one. And I had no idea. I thought we had 12 girls in Alabama at that point, and I thought that might be all that we get. But sure enough, Georgia brought in another 20 girls, and that started it off. And then every year it kept getting bigger and bigger, and then we started bringing in top talents like Lee Janes, who's a good friend of Alabama wrestling. And she would run clinics, and she would, build these personal relationships with all the girls. She'd help coach. So it was about that time that my daughter decided that she was done wrestling. She had been the captain of her middle school team for 2 years, and she wanted to try the dance team. So I stepped down, which fortunately was about the time that you stepped up. So
That worked out, timing-wise.
It worked out great. I
Well-
couldn't be happier with the effort that you and Jason have put in. Let's talk about Jason a little bit. He's not here, but I know he's watching.
He's definitely watching. So, and before we get into this, I just need to tell you that this match is a pretty close one for Coach Welton here. If you could see the smile on his face right now from Matt too, it's ear to ear. This is his daughter wrestling. She's a 7th grader. This is the 105-pound weight class against Daphne here. Looks like we have a there's our pin right there, Daphne.
Oh, I can't believe Coach Wilson isn't going to argue that.
He's not going to argue. In fact, I guarantee you he's going to give her a big hug after this. I love to see a father and a daughter coaching like that. That's just something really special.
It's the greatest.
It's wonderful.
You build a
Look at
bond
that.
with your daughter or your son
It
that
is.
you'll remember forever.
That's just great.
Oh, he's coaching
Yep.
her up. That's kind of like a hug.
He's just going to coach.
No
Yeah,
favoritism.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Gotta love that. Up here on the mat here, we've got 2 Thompson wrestlers, 105-pound weight class. We've got Brown 7th and Weissman 7th as well. So I'd like to do a little shout out to another person on the task force. That's Jason Eldridge. Jason comes to us from New York. He was very integral in New Way, New York. His daughter, Jade Eldridge, is a highly decorated wrestler out in girls wrestling in New York, which New York is a little farther along than we are when it comes to girls wrestling, more organized and certainly more numbers. Of course, their population is significantly larger than Alabama, so that helps a little bit. He moved here with his family this summer, and just through the wrestling community, we contacted each other, and he took over the position in USA Team Alabama of women's director. His daughter Jade is a senior at Wetumpka High School, and we sure wish she could be here at this tournament with us, but with the COVID guidelines, we had to limit it to 2 teams. But she'll be at the individual tournaments here in January. So Jason's goal is to really, in the off season, is where Jason's team's going to come in. Any of these girls who either new wrestlers or the ones that wrestled during the season can wrestle with USA Team Alabama, which most clubs that are in Alabama are associated with USA Wrestling, and do what he did in New York. We'll take teams, we'll go to tournaments, whether it's folk style or, of course, in college, it's freestyle for girls. And for the USA Wrestling, there's mostly freestyle tournaments. And we're just going to go with these girls. And that's the plan for the springtime. So if any of you have girls that would like to get involved in wrestling, find your local club, get involved, and Jason will find you and start getting these girls' teams organized.
He will find you.
He will find you.
There's no point in hiding.
There's no point in hiding. If you're on the USA wrestling roster and it says Alabama, we're going to find you. That's the best part.
Hopefully we'll have Fargo this year.
We are going to keep the faith for that for sure.
I do believe that Alabama is, leading the country in participation during the pandemic. With our SEC football, our wrestling, our basketball teams, we've had a few teams have to miss some matches, but ultimately they're still participating. It looks like Sean's going to bring out his own camera. If we switch microphones, I'm going to head out there and harass him a little bit.
I think that's a great idea. Let's do that.
Here you go. Wonder if I have to put on a mask. Let's see. Here's a mask. I'll go breathe on him. Can you see us? Matt, in camera 2? I'm here with the mediocre Thompson, Sean Wilson. How's your team looking today, Coach? Your first girls tournament?
We've
got you on camera, by the way. We've been watching you, Coach.
Oh, great. I'm sorry about that. So, it's pretty exciting. So, I know, so
That's it. It's just exciting?
Well, that little flip.
This is what I call historic.
Oh, well, that too.
Yeah. So how's the boys' team looking?
Our boys' team, we're getting along.
You got some JV kids in the other gym? Oh.
Looks like we've got an injury timeout. I think a finger made its way into an eye. That's got to hurt.
You put that on, you can hear me. Little pep talk.
Yeah,
she seemed to. That's what I figure. It's in the athlete.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
She's.
You build with your athlete.
Right. But she's a scrapper. We have 17 in middle school and 3 at the high school.
Very nice. That's 20.
Yeah. If my math's correct. just kind of trying to see what. Yeah, because
they get nothing.
Yeah, it's a emerging sport here.
That's right.
That's what we're looking for. History, right?
That's right. And
making history.
The girl who started it all, Hannah Gladden. Yeah, she still comes to your practice occasionally, right?
Well, when she's not, overseas and
like
training for the Olympics and stuff like that.
So.
Yeah. Hopefully, and all the other, support staff, the initiative of girls wrestling in Alabama. We had several people from all over the nation that, kind of helped us.
Yeah, we just Julie and I were just talking about Wrestle Like a Girl and Team Georgia who helped out, and USA National.
When the creator of Wrestle Like a Girl was wrestling and competing,
Sally.
So she came, UT, trained with us.
Did she really?
During the summer, yeah.
When you were there?
Yep. That's when I first met her. For me, but
Sally's a very important woman.
Oh yeah.
She was in the Army.
Yep.
And
she's been overseas.
She scares me slightly, but I respect her a lot.
Well, she should scare you.
Yes. So, who do you think?
I think Tom. I think they're talking to each other actually.
What practice is generally like?
This is right here. This is what you see in practice, right here, and a little more giggling.
Yeah, they're trying to make it look good for the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know it's live on Facebook, so they want to show off to their parents and friends.
I haven't checked to see if anyone's watching, but I'm sure it's thousands, probably.
I was thinking hundreds of thousands.
Yeah. Well, there isn't a lot of sports going on these days.
That's true.
I think we're going to do some DraftKings, and I think some of your wrestlers will probably be the first draft picks.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, highly rated. I'm not sure how you would score that, but I don't know why it hasn't been done yet. Some fantasy wrestling. I don't know. I just gave this idea out to the world.
Yeah.
So I just ruined it. I was going to start it and make $1 million.
Well, you can share that with me, and we'll be all
right. All
right. We can fund all
girls.
We're
going to fund the girls with fantasy wrestling. I like it. It's a little locking hands there, don't you think?
So
that's the first locking hands call I've seen all day, though.
Well, they are both 7. It takes a little bit to learn the sport and all its rules. I mean, there's so many rules, so you can only teach a handful at a time, right?
Right. I try to teach them all on the first day.
Oh, well, I don't even know all of them, so.
Yeah. Well, she was very close there, but she learned from her mistakes. I hear the Thompson girls are very smart. That was a nice reversal there.
Actually, if you take the IQ and the scores and their GPAs, I think they far outdo the boys on all that.
I see Anaya Vines pacing like an animal.
Well, she's a veteran, and she knows she has a tough opponent coming up. Okay, and she's trying to get her game face on.
Yeah, I've known I used to coach her when she was 7.
Mm-hmm.
She would participate in about 3 minutes of practice.
And you coached her for all those 3 minutes?
All 3, yeah.
Right.
I gave her everything I had.
Good.
She seems to like it a lot more now that I'm not coaching her.
Well, I don't know about that, because I don't know if, ask her a little bit about that.
Yeah. Interviews with Anaya are thrilling, to say the least. And here she comes. She's checking in at the table. Congratulations.
Way to fight.
Good match. We'll get an interview later, because I want to watch Anaya.
Here we've got Anaya Vines, 8th grade, and Freeman. Anaya Vines Thompson. And
I'm going to
Freeman
hit there then.
from
Make sure
Northside
you
Methodist,
play
7th
neutral.
grade.
Okay, remember, the camera's on you.
That sounded really good.
So this is your daughter. No.
I'm
That's what Sean told me. So he lied to me.
Oh, the first one was. He wrestled my daughter first.
Oh, okay. So this is Anaya, superstar from Thompson.
Anaya's fantastic.
Yeah.
This,
She's a woman of few words.
She is.
If you've seen our interviews with her in the past.
But she makes short order of her wrestling opponents.
All right,
very
I'm going to
quickly.
grab her for an interview right now.
Please do.
And count the number of words she says. I think it's like 4.
That was a 4-second pin.
Yeah, you did.
Next up, we have 2 Daphne wrestlers. We've got Lysair.
She called you out on it,
7th
too.
grade, and
Yeah.
we've got Cherkoff, also in 7th grade, 120-pound weight class.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. I want to interview Anaya, but she's avoiding me, I think.
One thing that we did have that I've never experienced in all my coaching days is on the bus.
Love the smile between the two
we
of
had
them
to
at the
call
beginning.
for,
Of course, when
you know,
you're
30
partners
minutes
on the
out.
wrestling,
Hey, ladies, it's time
the
to
practice
do your
mat,
hair.
you know each other pretty well.
Right.
But all
That's
bets
important.
are off.
Well, I think
They're
Julie's
still
daughter's
friends
up, so I'm
before,
not going
friends
to
after,
interrupt
But
while
when
she
you're wrestling on
commentates
the
on
mat
this.
for a win, you just want to win. And that's Lysair with a quick pin.
Way to go.
And smiles and friendship after.
She must have very supportive parents. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, her brother
Oh.
standing there in the corner, and Ethan's a sophomore and has been wrestling since the 7th grade. And Ellen's come to just about every tournament, every match. She was a photographer the last couple years, and when the opportunity came up as a 7th grader for wrestle, she gave me her camera and said, "You take pics, Mom. I'm wrestling." And that was it. Next up, we have 2 Thompson wrestlers. And I'm not seeing it on track wrestling, so I'm not sure who this is.
It's Glover versus Islas.
We've got Glover from Thompson, a senior, and Islas, 8th grade, both from Thompson, 140-pound weight class.
Did you hear Sean talking about the hairdressing that takes place on the bus?
Well, actually, it's interesting you said that because my daughter sent me a bus picture. They had just finished double braiding each other's hair on the bus. That's very important. But that does bring up a good point. This year, the NFHS changed the hair rule for boys and, of course, for girls. In that, particularly, the boys are pretty happy. It seems like most boys now have pretty long hair, and they have to cut it during wrestling season. Caps are not required anymore. And caps are also not required for girls. So you'll see a lot of braids in these girls. Seems to keep their hair pretty tight. And I'm not sure what the boys do. I think they just slick their hair back and put on the headgear.
When we had our girls' tournaments here for youth, we used to tell the coaches that they didn't have to put their hair up. And they didn't even have to wear headgear if they didn't want to. We were going to let the girls look like girls and be girls, and they seemed to really enjoy that.
Yes, for the open tournaments, of course, headgear is not required. And for in-season and schools, of course, headgear is required.
All right, I'm going to go grab Anaya. Coach Wilson, can we bring over Anaya? I need to get a few words out of her.
Got a good match here, 140-pound weight class. We've got Sims, a freshman from Thompson, and we've got Hill, an 8th grader from Daphne.
Anaya Vines is here with us. Very impressive wins out there, Anaya. I always enjoy watching you wrestle. How did it feel?
Good.
Are you enjoying being on the girls' team more than being on the boys' team?
I don't know. I think it feels the same.
Is Sean going to call you up for state?
Maybe.
Maybe. Probably. Yeah, he's going to want to win again, I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so what kind of moves did you use out here today?
Thompson with a quick takedown.
I used a
Unfortunately,
lot
you
of
cannot lock hands.
lawnmowers and high seas.
So I hear your brothers are no longer famous because of you, that when they walk around the school, they say, that's Anaya's brother. That's right.
I already say that in the practice room.
Yeah, Yanni.
Oh,
Yanni, because, you know, he's also fairly average like Coach Wilson. When was the last time Yanni lost?
I don't know. Probably to his sister.
Yeah.
I think I saw that the other day.
Look, boys' egos are very fragile. So, you know, I don't want you to beat him too badly. You know, you got to make him feel like he has a chance at state, all right? Because you're going to be in different weight classes, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Your mom's here. It's always great to see your mom. She's hiding right behind us. Is your mom still coaching? No. Just at home, on the way home? Tells you how great you are. Well, once again, thanks for the interview. I think I counted at least 7 words out of you. That was great. A lot of uh-huhs. So then after the next one, I'm going to pull you over again, and we'll do it again. Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Go Warriors. Oh, congratulations on your big high school football state championship. I heard that was amazing. All right. I'm going back to the table. Good luck, Coach.
So we're down to 1 mat now. We finished up our first round pretty quickly. So extra official was needed in the boys meet in the other gym. So we've got 1 mat here.
Did you enjoy our interview with Anaya?
Actually, I wasn't listening to it. How was
Oh,
it?
my.
I know.
It was riveting.
Excellent.
You'll have to run it back.
I will.
Because Sean did let it be known that she beats up her brother Yanni in practice, who happens to be one of his superstars.
He is. He is. They're both superstars in their own right, for sure. We're going to see a lot of her. She's only an 8th grader, right?
Yes. Yanni and Kiowa are both superstars. I'd be surprised if either of them have lost this year.
I'd agree with that. And we'll see all of these girls in the state tournament on January 23rd. Again, that's at the Crossplex in Birmingham. And that is not a qualifying tournament.
Who's running it? USA?
Actually, Thompson High School is going to run the tournament at the Crossplex. So
Very nice.
It is an AHSAA tournament.
We're going to have to get Matburn some press passes.
Definitely, we will do that, as well as Southeast Wrestle, who's also here tonight. You will see Jason Fulmore is taking pictures. You all may know him from Southeast Wrestle. He covers wrestling in the entire Southeast.
Yeah, if you look in the right corner of your screen, you can see him going into the coach's office.
And he covers wrestling in Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and does a great job. So if you go on to Facebook or Twitter and you look
He
up
does all the
SC
official
Wrestle,
rankings
he does.
for the Southeast, and it's been very impressive how he spends all this time collecting the data.
He
And he
does.
doesn't just go by the data. He actually knows the wrestlers.
He
and
knows
for a
them.
long time, we didn't know who was doing this. It was a big secret, but it was, it became the go-to for rankings.
And he is fired up about girls wrestling. He approached us not too, I guess again, in the spring and summer, and said, I want to help you guys with this task force. So he's done some great interviews as well. And you will see these pictures. I think he's headed back up north today. Looks like he's about done taking pictures, but you will see his fantastic photography coming up in the probably tonight, actually.
Southeast Wrestle leaving the house. We'll have to have you on Matburn for an interview.
Yeah.
Tell us all about your website and how you come up with these great rankings.
Oh, well, I do just the duels for the Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah, the individuals are done by Murray Zog.
Gotcha.
So, but it's great because I get coaches actually weigh in on it and are able to kind of give their feedback. So.
Are you going to put these photos up on your website?
I am, yeah.
Okay. So,
yeah, they'll be up maybe tonight, probably tomorrow.
All right, and the website name is?
SCWrestle.com or SoutheastWrestling.com. Either one will work.
Great. Well, we appreciate you coming all the way
Thank you
up.
for taking the drive down and covering this. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's
You'll be at the state tournament on January 23rd?
Yeah. Well, JT and I were talking, and are we certain on the dates as far as the future goes?
Well, no.
Okay.
A lot of it depends on January 1st.
Okay.
We'll have I think there'll be a review by the AHSA's Alabama High School Athletic Association of how the fall went. And if the numbers are still staying, hopefully low, hopefully things go well, then they will allow us to have tournaments. If not, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But right now, to me, every week is a blessing that we're all wrestling.
Absolutely. So, as JT and I were talking about it, he said that it's the day after the boys' dual state tournament.
It is.
Right,
it is.
Dual finals.
Yep.
Yeah, in Birmingham,
It
right?
will be in Birmingham.
So I will definitely be there.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. And that's the whole state. It's not a qualifier. So if you're a girl registered on a team in Alabama, you can come. And it won't be by class. It'll be 1A through 5A, all one big division.
Right. That's awesome. Definitely. My plan is to be there.
Great.
So it'll be a lot of fun.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Good to see you.
We'll see you around. So Dr. Julie Lasserre is a veterinarian, and I thought I'd give her this chance to plug her animal practice. If you have any goats or canaries or boa constrictors, just bring them to her.
I do not. I like anything with fur, actually, but I will see some feathers from time to time. I work at a Rim Animal Clinic at Timber Run, and that is in Loxley, Alabama, which is very close to Daphne. There are 4 rim clinics in the Mobile-Baldwin area, 3 in the Mobile area. Actually, there will be 4. There's going to be Saraland has a rim animal clinic opening up soon. So I'm a veterinarian by day, and by night work on parenting my 3 children, and when I have extra time, work on the girls' task force. But there's a lot of people on this task force. It's not just the 2 of us. There's gosh, there's probably 20 people at least that work hard on this task force in many different areas. And
but none harder than you, I will say.
I don't know about that, but it's been a labor of love for sure. One thing I want to touch on a little bit as we go into the state tournament is girls' weight classes in Alabama. Girls' weight classes are a little bit different than boys in that certainly we start a little bit lower in the girls. The weight classes start at 95, which tends to be a middle school weight class for boys, but for girls we have plenty of little ones running around. So the weight classes in Alabama are as follows. We've got 95, 105, 115, 120, 130, 140, 150, 165, 185, and 225. So they are a little different than the boys. However, when the girls wrestle in the boys division, they still fall into the boys' weight classes. And this is how most states have done. It's just based on how the percentage of girls that have hydrated and what their weights are, and most girls tend to fall into these weight classes.
I would like to thank my lovely fiancée, Terry, for running out to get a new camera for us. And that's what was causing all our technical problems, is that we had to set up a new camera. But I think we've got all the kinks worked out for the next time.
And there will be a next time for sure.
I'll come down again. This has been fun.
This is great. This is quite a match.
Yeah. I will go out and peek. It's 11-8 for Thompson. 10 seconds left. Final score was 11-8.
That was a long 6 minutes for these girls. They're going to need to rehydrate.
And they just
Thompson
keep coming. There's another match on deck here.
There's another match. Here we have Thompson and Northside Methodist. We've got Hudson, freshman from Thompson, and we've got Robinson, a sophomore from Northside Methodist.
Out of bounds, no points. This is going to be a good match.
This is the 150-pound weight class.
Is that Northridge? There's two for Northridge.
It's just so great to watch these girls being able to compete with each other.
Oh, almost a reversal.
You know, in middle school, the differences in physique and strength between boys and girls, as we all know, is much less. In fact, girls tend to mature physically a little faster than boys. But once that end of the 8th grade year going into the 9th grade year occurs, testosterone hits these boys, and the physicality and strength of the boys is very, very different. And it definitely makes that playing field very uneven. So oftentimes these girls may be better technically wrestlers than many of the boys, but when it comes to physical, with the exception of a few girls, they're going to be outpowered by their male counterpart wrestlers. So it is just so important that we get these opportunities for these girls as much as possible.
Do we know how old these ladies are?
Let me take a look. We do. Our wrestler from Northside Methodist is a sophomore, and our wrestler from Thompson is a freshman. And this is the 150-pound weight class.
I feel like we should give women's weight in kilos from now on. Because it doesn't feel polite.
You know, I think these girls are just, you know, just watching them out there with, you know, just being able to wrestle each other. The 150-pound weight class in the 152-pound weight class in the boys that's a tough weight class. That is some physical boys, and the boys tend to cut weight at a little different rate, again, because their muscle ratio is very different.
Oh,
so
Northridge girl has turned her over. She needs to get her head up, though. She's going to get at least 2 back on that.
Boy, Thompson's not giving up. Look at her.
Great fight. Good defense up until this point. Oh,
wow,
I don't know if her shoulders were down, but Northridge pulls off the win. That was a very impressive win.
That was a good match. Next up.
I bet they see each other again at state this year.
They do too. Wow, that was a good one. Next up, we have not sure, actually. I think we've got the 2 wrestlers checking in I don't think are the right ones. There we go. We've got Morton from WS Neal, an 8th grader, and we have Adams, also an 8th grader, from Daphne. Also the 150-pound weight class. That's Coach Jeff Coate doing a pre-game wrestling talk. From what I understand, there was some time left on the clock, and the official was unaware of that time. So I think we're going to add some time to that one.
I was fair. I thought he had called a pin, but not entirely sure, since I thought the match was over. I directed my attention elsewhere for a moment. I'm going to go peek at the scoreboard, see what they're doing. I'm seeing a score of 0-0 on the board. So maybe they're re-wrestling the mat? Well, it's good practice. Man. We'll have to find out what happened there. Let me go ask Sean. He probably knows.
Sean knows everything.
So they grouped.
Coach Wilson?
Yes, sir.
We're a little confused at our table about what's going on.
So apparently the time had expired and the tapper did not make it out to the official on time.
At the pin?
At the pin.
Yeah.
And they're going back to start the match from that time that it expired.
So because I'm seeing 0-0 on the clock, I was wondering if we're starting all over.
No, that's a new match. They're trying to go back to the last match.
Oh, okay. So what do we have? A third period coming up?
Or was it second period?
Second period, I think.
Second period.
I think.
Oh, that was quite a match. We were very impressed, so I'm glad we get to see more.
No, it's going to be the third period.
Third period.
No, second or third period.
We'll find out.
Either one of those two. I'm going to go second or third.
Well, it probably isn't the first.
Probably.
Probably not.
Probably not. But.
Oh, I see a 7 on the board now.
Yeah, she got awarded the 3 near fall. Now we're going into the second.
Oh,
boom.
Here we go. Well, I'm going to go. Still says period 1.
JT's going to change that in a second.
Is he?
Oh.
We got a windmill. Picture of a windmill. What does that represent?
I don't know.
Tilting at windmills? Is that what we're doing?
I think so.
Okay. I'm going to head back to the table and explain this all to Julie.
All right. Yeah.
So,
we know what happened here?
Yeah, Sean told us that time ran out and the bopper didn't quite make it before the pin. So we should be in the start of the second period.
That exactly appears to be what's happening. So was that in the second period that occurred?
That was the end of the first,
okay.
apparently. So
right.
we do get to see 2 more periods of these
How
great
about that?
wrestlers. I'm excited.
And I'm excited too.
So, as a vet, you can explain to me. I've been reading some stories about dogs getting COVID. Is this a true thing?
It's a great question. It's probably going to open up a Pandora's box. Yes, there has been COVID isolated from the nasal passages of pets. I believe there was 1 or 2 cats and then maybe 1 or 2 dogs. However, there has not been a reported infection or clinical signs of the COVID-19 coronavirus in pets. So if you have a household full of COVID and you have pets that live with you, and most of our pets sleep with us, then there's a very good chance that that pet has COVID in their nasal passages and probably on their body as well.
But it's not dangerous for the animals?
It is not dangerous to the animals. However, if you've got COVID-19 in the nasal patches of a dog and you send that dog to someone else's house, is it possible that that dog could pass it to a human? It's possible. To my knowledge, there has not been transmission of that as of yet. But, you know, if you've got COVID and you're isolated, just stay home with your dog. Better safe than sorry.
This is still a good match.
I mean, these girls have just not given up.
I mean, have they done any studies with the age of dog and dog years? Like a dog who might be like 100 in dog years. Are they more susceptible, you think?
No? Not yet. There are coronaviruses in dogs. Of course, the coronaviruses have been present in the human and animal population for many years. We're very familiar with these. This particular virus is a novel virus. And, when it first came out, I'll have to say most of us in the veterinary community were a little nervous because you can think of how difficult it would be if not only our humans were infected, but then also our animals as well. But that's the tricky part of any virus. It doesn't take too many mutations for it to go from one host to another. So that's why it's even more important that we get this vaccine, we get some immunity amongst our humans and put this thing to rest.
What is the correct ratio of dog years to human years?
It depends on the breed. So
I knew it wasn't a fixed number.
It is not a fixed number. Think about a Great Dane or a Mastiff or a Bull Mastiff, any of your giant breed dogs. The end of their life occurs around 9 years old, 8 to 9. You've got a little toy poodle. He's rocking and rolling until he's about 17 or 18. So the size of the dog is inversely proportional to the age. And cats, indoor cat can live to be 19 or 20 very regularly.
Possibly the amount of noise they make is directly proportional to their age.
That is very possible, unless you kick out your dog outside for barking too much, and then it might have a shorter life.
What is the best tactic to silence a neighbor's dog?
Move. Good. I mean, there's certainly noise ordinances, but most police are taxed enough to, in their own right, they're not going to probably come to someone's house for a barking dog.
I'm curious on the score, so I'm going to go peek. We've got 12-4.
12-4. Is this the third period?
Yes.
Okay.
Minute 35 left. It's 12-5. I would have to think that this Northridge girl has wrestled more than just this season.
I think so. She looks quite experienced.
You want to switch up microphones and go interview her after this?
Well,
Thompson's wrestler's got her on her back.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That was a tough one. My goodness.
Wow. What an unusual match. They both won at one point.
They did. You're absolutely right. Wow.
I'd like to see this one again.
Yeah, me too. I think she wants that one back. As always, good sportsmanship at the end, of course. Coming up, we've got Sage Adams, 8th grade from Daphne. And we've got Morton, another 8th grader from WS Neal. This is the 150-pound weight class. This should be a good match. That was a quick takedown.
What do you feed these girls in Daphne?
They're strong, aren't they?
They're aggressive. They must be eating a lot of meat.
They're strong and aggressive, and gotta love it. Sage from Daphne came from the jiu-jitsu world.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So she has, although not folk style experience, but that'll happen a lot. We'll have girls come into wrestling who were youth jiu-jitsu wrestlers. My son actually was in jiu-jitsu before he wrestled, and there's a little bit of a switch that occurs because
don't go on your back.
You don't have to go. It's tough. I remember my son accidentally fighting from his back and pinning himself several times in 7th grade. After being in jiu-jitsu for so long, where fighting on your back is normal.
Well, Yasmini Oliveira from Spain Park, her whole family has a great jiu-jitsu background. Her father has placed first or second in world championships several times. Right. He runs all the Gracie Barra studios in the Birmingham area.
And with the pin, and look at Dad over there. He is so excited about that. That is fantastic.
I like the atmosphere. It's fun yet competitive.
This crowd has not stopped the whole time. I mean, they're just on it and excited.
Got another match. It's like never-ending matches.
Yes. All right, here on the mat we've got Chandler, a senior from Northside Methodist, and I'm going to destroy this name, Nigan, an 8th grader from Thompson. Pretty sure I did not get that one.
I think it's Win, isn't it? I think I saw that.
Is it Win?
Explained
Okay.
to me once.
All right.
The Nguyen.
Is Win? Okay.
I think it is.
Well, I'm
But
sure
I could be wrong.
I didn't get it right. This is the 165-pound weight class. You know, if you look at the ages of many of these girls, and we've got a few juniors and seniors, but the vast majority are 7th through 9th grade, which also means these girls are going to be here for a long time. You know, you start in 7th grade, you're conceivably wrestling for 6 years. So by the time you're a senior, you've been doing this for 6 years. These girls are going to be very experienced by that time.
Did you see that handshake, fist bump thing that the winner of the last match just did with her excited dad?
Wasn't that great?
It's like they've been practicing that a while.
That's just
They probably do it a lot.
We should get the two of them for an interview.
Yes, I think we should.
That'd be great.
I'm going to let you do it.
Take the camera. You gotta take the camera over or just walk
right in front of this camera.
I am.
Julie's negotiating with the dad right now. I think she scored the interview. We're pretty excited about this. Watching the top left box.
Excellent. All right, we're going to have them stand. All right.
Right, that camera's on.
Oh, is that camera on?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll leave
Excellent.
this one on the mat.
We're going to move this over this way. There we go. Okay. All right, so I need this and
This? You can both use the same microphone.
All right. I'm going to let you guys take this. All right. You guys, you just had a great match there. Introduce your father for me and tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm Sage, and this is my dad, Harvin, and
she needs to catch her breath. Yep, this is my daughter Sage. I'm Parvin Rosario. Sage is one of 3 amazing children that I have, and she's out here competing for the girls tournament.
Now, Sage, you come from the jiu-jitsu world, is that right?
Yes.
How long have you done that, and where did you compete and practice jiu-jitsu?
Well, I did jiu-jitsu for about a year, and I practiced at Coach Yaman's gym. Yeah.
Yep.
And I competed in a Naga tournament and won. So, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So tell me a little bit what brought you into wrestling. How did you even find out that we had a team in Daphne?
Well, they just came to our school and was just showing some pretty cool tackles, and I was just like, oh, yeah, that's me.
So what do you think about this?
I think it's pretty cool that we get to just go against each other and see who's the best.
It is, it is. So if you've got some girls that maybe some friends of yours around, you're an 8th grader, right?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
would you tell them to say? You've never wrestled. Why should you wrestle?
I would tell them that they should really come out here and try because it'll bring the best out of you.
Excellent.
And it'll show you to always to be driven and to do what you want to. So
Dad, were you a wrestler?
I practice combatives in the Army. I'm active duty Army. Yeah, so I'm a soldier.
Great.
I practice combatives and I've been fighting my whole career. So
What's
yes,
it
ma'am.
like to watch your daughter on the mat like this?
It's way better than fighting. It's adrenaline. It's everything. I love it to death, and
It's great.
I love her to death. So I love seeing her fight.
That's wonderful. That's
ma'am.
just fantastic.
See that fist bump again?
Oh.
Yeah, you guys had the best. Show them what you did.
Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Yes,
You've
ma'am.
got a great
Thank you.
career ahead. Of course, I'm super glad that you're part of Daphne. That makes me really happy. But thank
Yes,
you guys.
ma'am. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. All right. Good luck the rest of the night. They were great.
Like, can we go to Popeyes or something? We're gonna eat. I wanna go Popeyes, Whataburger. You wanna go food, please? See.
Always got that bag, don't you?
I have to keep it on. It's my sense of security.
All right. Over here.
What am I doing?
So this is my son, Ethan Lasser, wrestled 7th grade. And during that time, Ethan on the Daphne wrestling team, we've had anywhere between 2 and 3 girls at any one time. Now we've got 9 girls. Tell me how the practices are run with the girls. Do the boys perceive any difference?
It's not any different. Everything that the guys do, the girls do. It's just one big team, one family. So, we're all united as one. We just get together and we grind it out. So.
That's excellent. So, of course, this tournament is in 2 different gyms, but when the
Always, like I said, we're just a family. We're going to cheer them on just like we would another guy. So,
Excellent. That's great. What do you think here? What do you think the biggest? What can people do to bring more girls or even just more wrestlers? How do we make these teams bigger?
Kids like to see teams succeed. Like you rally behind your football team whenever they're winning. I think it's just going to take, us getting better, improving as a program, and more kids are going to see that and want to join and be a part of that. Especially the amount of success that we're having with this girls team, I think it's going to attract many more wrestlers.
Excellent. All right. Well, we just wanted to get a boy's perspective from another very fast pin from Kaylee Holder. I think she's going to get the award for the fastest pin tonight. That was great. Kaylee's used to wrestling girls, boys, and there's some boys that she's pinned that pretty quickly.
Yeah, she has. She's a monster.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. I'll let
thank
you go back to your coaching.
All right, bye.
Call from the trainer. We'll go on break. We'll be right back. And we're back. Still live.
It's a great picture.
Yeah.
I had a couple people texting me that said they've got it up like on their TV instead of
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wish I had more time to practice this week, setting it up.
Well, I mean, hey, it worked though.
I've got all the tools.
You got it?
We just gotta.
At one point, they had the team scores going. I don't know. WS Neal, unfortunately, was only able to enter 2 of their, I think they had 7 goals. They had some injuries and illness, so
Oh.
being able to attend today.
I'm not getting any audio.
What's that? Did we lose audio?
I think you're still working. You have your mic turned on? Oh. There we go. I turned it off because of the echo. And now you're back.
And there we have Thompson with the pin.
You might need to explain who they are again.
That was, let me pull up my track wrestling. That was Thompson. Her name was last name Crow, 8th grader from Thompson. And we had Sasser from Daphne, who's a junior. Next up, we have the 130-pound weight class. We've got a senior from Northside Methodist, Whitehead, who's 2-1. And we've got Whitman, an 8th grader from Thompson, who is 1-2. Coach Jeff comes over and grabbing him. He hasn't sat down all night. With as many wrestlers as both Daphne and Thompson have, Coach Jeffcoat and Coach Welton have, I don't think they've left the mat the entire night. There is a boys JV quad in the other gym going on at the same time. All right, we've got two new wrestlers here. We've got Primo from Daphne, a sophomore at 1-1. And we've got Townsend, a 7th grader from Thompson, who's also 1-1. This is a 130-pound weight class.
Still no points. Oh, there's two.
There's the takedown.
Got the half in. And, oh. Daphne's getting up. Oh, she's turning the legs. Nice. This looks like something Sean would teach.
That was a very sneaky pin. It was definitely a Welton pin. That's Thompson with the pin. Another Thompson-Daphne matchup coming up. We have Mcneese, a freshman from Daphne, and Black, an 8th grader from Thompson.
I think we'll take Matt, the second camera off of there. There we go. Now we're all Matt 1. No second camera. She's coming up.
Hannah Mcneese wrestled on the Daphne team last year and only had maybe 1 or 2 matches with other girls. But she kept working spring, summer, fall. She's been training in the all off season. And when the opportunity came to have such a large girls team, she was a big part of recruiting. And being only a freshman, she's got a great career ahead.
I can't wait to see all these girls 4 years from now.
They're like we reiterated before, most of these girls are freshmen and under. We've got a few sophomores, a couple of juniors, a couple of seniors. We're going to have quite a state tournament in a couple of years with these girls. They're going to be very experienced.
Yes, I'm going to have to learn all their names now.
You're going to have to learn them all.
You know, I can't wait for Marla Holmes' daughter. What's her first name?
She is going to come. She's a 6th grader.
Yes, she's
I believe
amazing.
so. Yes, she's going to come with a wealth of experience. She's been wrestling a long time.
Evelyn Holmes. That's her
Evelyn.
name.
She's been wrestling a long time. There's definitely some girls in the lower youth ranks that are going to come up with some real experience, and that's really the bottom line of girls wrestling. That's what we've seen in states such as ours that did not have a strong girls wrestling in middle school and high school. These girls have been there. They've been wrestling for years, but when the only other option is being on a boys team only, it's all right in middle school, but you hit high school, and it can be really intimidating and frustrating as well. So all the more reason for these coaches and administrators to keep pushing the girls wrestling.
I think Jesselyn Allen up in Huntsville is a 7th grader this year, and she's been wrestling since she was like 4 or 5. And I've seen her every year coming up through the ranks, and she's going to be a hammer one day.
Yes. These are girls we're going to see in college. We will definitely see them in college.
She does spell her last name incorrectly, however.
Hannah running for the pin.
Oh, you got to return her. Oh, and you did. That was almost a stall. She got it down. Oh, you got to keep attacking.
This is a match.
What's the score here?
This second period. Thompson 5, Daphne 1. Thompson snuck in a pin. That was a great match with the two of them.
You know what I love? All these girls cheering for their teammates nonstop, as loud as they can.
This gym has been on fire the entire night. These girls have not left the gym. They have supported their teammates, win or lose, the entire night. And that's just really important to see. One thing about girls is they will back up their teammates from the beginning of the meet to the end of the meet. We've got 2 Thompson wrestlers here on the 105-pound weight class. We've got McDonald, an 8th grader. Actually, no, had that one wrong. This is Welton, a 7th grader, who's 1-1, and Weisman, a 7th grader, who's 2-0.
She's working hard for this takedown. And she knows where the boundary line is. That's very good. Good mat awareness. And she's lifting. Oh, she was out of bounds.
Not
All
quite.
that work. Good effort, girls.
Did you see the look on their faces? Like, oh.
Nothing.
All that work.
Oh, outside single. And, a reversal. Right to her back. Got to keep fighting. Oh, look at that.
That was a bridge.
Oh, and she's back. She's going to have to do that one again.
Excellent match.
Way to fight.
Obviously,
That's
these
what I
girls
like to see.
are teammates. It's good to see a lot of emotion with the two of them.
Emotion means you care.
Emotion means you care. And one thing about girls, there will always be emotion.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all. In fact, you will see a lot of wrestling itself is an emotional sport. There aren't any sports other than any of the combat sports that literally put you front and center.
It brings boys to tears at times.
It absolutely does. And it's mostly tears of happiness or frustration.
Yes.
Because the pain is normal. All right, we have here.
My daughter Gabby has brought many a boy to tears.
Absolutely. This is the 105-pound weight class. We have Bear, 7th grader, 1-0 from Thompson. We've got McDonald, an 8th grader, 1-1 from Daphne. Both of them are first-time wrestlers.
Got another good match here. Got a bell. There you go.
One thing I've noticed, the flexibility of these girls, they can bridge incredibly well. And there's a pin. Thompson over Daphne.
Gabby used to be able to bend backwards, bridge to her head, and then
They can. The flexibility is
then just stand up from that
very
position.
incredible.
Yeah. I don't
All
know any
right,
boys that could do that.
next up, 120-pound weight class. We've got Freeman, a 7th grader, 2-1 from Northside Methodist. And we have Lasser, a 7th grader, 1-1. And I'm going to step away to video my daughter, or she will kill me.
Well, we've got it here, too, in case she misses it. I guess I'm all alone commentating now. Some good stance and motion there. We got a cross face, nice cross face, and for 2. This is a tough wrestler. And she returns her to the mat. Oh, puts her right to her back. Lucero with another victory. We have one proud mama over here. These girls are really tough. All right, let's get some comments from Coach Mom.
Of course, she did great.
She did fantastic.
Yeah, she did great.
She's going to get the Popeyes chicken sandwich she wanted.
She is saying I, didn't get to eat much before weigh-in, as very common. She's just excited she gets to wrestle. She's been watching her brother for the last 3 years.
Now, is she the horseback rider in your family?
Oh, I've got 2 of them. Let me say real quickly who we have here. This is the 120-pound weight class. We've got Kelly, a senior, 1-0, Northside Methodist. And we've got Ayani Vines, 8th grader of Ayani. We've spoken highly of her in the past. She's got Anaya, excuse me. She's got an incredible amount of experience, 2-0 from Thompson. I've got $2 at Ride Horses. Ellen also rides. My other daughter's a senior, and she competes all over the country in eventing, which is pretty exciting.
Incredible leg strength from that.
A lot of leg strength, yes. Ellen also plays soccer and volleyball. One thing, we had some bios sent to us from the coaches that I want to make sure I post at some point with all the pictures. There's Anaya again with the pin. She's 3-0 today.
Give her a big thumbs up.
Excellent.
She's dreading the interview. So
One thing we noticed with these girls is just about all of them are multi-sport athletes. And when I say multi-sport, I mean just about every sport. Most of these girls play sports from softball, volleyball, definitely soccer. There's a lot of crossover soccer players that are also wrestling. And they all say that the wrestling definitely helps with their other sports. You think about the skills from wrestling, the endurance, the technique, the footwork, it will cross over into other sports. And definitely works for the boys, and for the girls, it's no different as well.
I always found that the girls who had the best success in the beginning were gymnasts. But unfortunately, they share the same season.
This is absolutely right. Right. In the 105-pound weight class here, we've got Welton, 7th grader, 2-1 from Thompson, and Bear, 7th grader, 2-0 from Thompson.
We were hoping to do the Thompson duel on Thursday as a warm-up. I wanted to do that for this to make sure everything was working properly, but unfortunately Hewitt Trustville was unable to attend the duel. So it was Hewitt and Arab and Thompson. I thought that would have been a great match to cover. We have a dog in the house, Julie. You must be really excited.
It's pretty cute.
It is pretty cute. A fine victory.
Nice job. Coach, like when I had it, she stood up. Coach was saying, let her loose, but I didn't hear him. So I'm just like, you know what, I'm just gonna.
How do you feel after that match?
I feel really pumped. I'm really excited. That was really good for me and my confidence, and to set my endurance up.
Do you enjoy wrestling more than horseback riding?
Oh.
That's what everyone wants to know.
All my sports are really equal.
Oh, man.
I don't really.
You're going to be a politician one day. I can feel it.
I'd rather not be, but.
One thing I've noticed a lot of both the boys and the girls, if you ask them what sport do they like, they'll say, you know what, my favorite sport's the sports I'm in, the sport that I'm in right now. And I think that's what's really important.
I didn't think about it at the moment, but yeah, like for soccer, then I'll kind of be like, you know what, I'm ready to go to wrestling. And after wrestling, I'm like, I'm ready to go to soccer. After soccer, I'm like, oh, it's horseback riding time. Then I'm like, I'm always busy, but I love it.
So how does horseback riding help you with wrestling?
Legs, lots of legs.
We were just saying that.
Yes, my leg. It helps calves, core down. It helps everything.
Your endurance must be incredible. Are you in better shape than the girls you wrestle?
Sir?
Are you in better shape than most of the girls you wrestle?
I mean, I would hope so. I would hope so. I am.
I was a soccer player in my youth, and I know how much you have to run.
Yeah,
so
a lot.
It sounds like you never have a break.
Not really, no.
That's good.
But I love it. I love all my
keep
coaches.
kids busy so they stay out of trouble. That's what I say.
Yeah.
All right, well, you better go get some electrolytes. You're done for the night. I think that's it for you. That's it.
Your mom said to go kidnap that dog.
There's a duck?
There is a dog.
Oh, I thought you said, if there's a duck, I'm stealing it.
It's right over there. We should interview the dog. How many pets do you have, Julie?
You know, it's not as many as you would think. I've got 2 dogs, a cat, a snake. I've got 2 fat black and white ponies right now, and I'm going My oldest daughter just sold her jumper not too long ago, and actually we're headed to Ocala tomorrow to go horse shopping. So
wow,
that's always I say fun, it's a bit stressful.
Is your other horse getting a little long in the tooth?
You just had to say that.
I was trying to think of how many animal references I could make during the broadcast.
Long in the tooth was good.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was a good one. This is a good match. Let me take a look at this. This is both Thompson, and we've got Welton 9 and Bear 2. This is the beginning of the second period. One thing I've noticed is a lot of these matches are going all the way to 6 minutes. These girls have wrestled a lot tonight.
You know, I coached middle school last year, and almost every match ended in pin. Every single
middle
one.
school tends to do that. It's a lot like youth, and they tend to be pretty quick pins. One thing I've noticed here, these girls, for being first-time wrestlers, are they're technical, and they go to very good basic technique, which is great. When you're starting out with wrestling, just go to the basics. And I think that's just a testament to the coaches.
Win at every level.
It is. And we've got very experienced coaches here that are obviously teaching good basic wrestling. Now, for some of y'all listening to this might not know, in college, women's wrestling is all freestyle.
I wish that our high school was all freestyle.
Well, it is a change for these girls to go from folk style to freestyle. However, some of these girls will be doing freestyle in the spring and the summer with USA Wrestling. Girls tend to be pretty good freestyle wrestlers because of their quickness.
Yeah, Hannah Gladden has set the standard.
She has.
7-time All-American at Fargo. She's placed twice at the U.S. Open, second place at the U.S. Open twice. So she's training
She
for the
is
Olympics.
definitely our most decorated wrestler.
She's Alabama's most decorated wrestler, boy or girl.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. There's a pin with Welton on top.
Of course, we are fortunate to have Brandon Womack at Matburn as a host, and he is probably the best wrestler to ever come out of Alabama.
We need to get him for the state tournament.
Oh,
to
I'll make it happen.
Let's do that.
I'll double his pay.
Which would be 0 on 0 probably,
Yes.
right?
He makes the
We
same
pay in
amount I
food.
do.
We pay in food.
He makes 1,000 times more than I do.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so here we've got a 105-pound weight class. We've got Brown, 7th grader, 0-3 from Thompson, and McDonald, 8th grader, 1-2 from Dabney.
Circle, circle. I like Daphne's stance.
I don't think this referee's taking a break.
He's come over to sanitize his hands a few times, but
about
other
it.
than that, if you are watching the broadcast, make sure you click the subscribe button on YouTube so you can get notified when we're up again live. And also go to the Facebook Matburn Wrestling page
so that you get all our notifications, all our great interviews, all our tournament coverage.
These two girls are pretty evenly matched. I don't believe we have any points yet.
Well, they're being very cautious in this first period. Oh, right at the whistle, she had the leg.
This is most of the girls' very first wrestling tournament in their lives, or very first matches. And so what a great opportunity to be able to do a tournament like this with their first matches being against girls that are really in similar experience levels.
And being broadcast to millions.
And being broadcast on Matburn Wrestling. Scott Allen, thank you.
Oh, reaching back.
There's Daphne with the takedown.
Oh. There's no quitting these girls. How far was the trip from Daphne?
This trip's pretty quick. This is one of our shortest trips. It is 90 minutes from Daphne up here. Being down in Baldwin County, if we have to travel a pretty good ways to hit some of the more challenging tournaments up in Birmingham. So we're pretty used to traveling. We'll go up to Huntsville. That's a solid 6-hour trip. But the wrestling in Baldwin County in particular is growing by leaps and bounds every year. It wasn't until about 6 years ago that Baldwin County had wrestling at all, and now every high school in Baldwin County has wrestling, and there are 2 high schools in Mobile, actually 3. We've got Satsuma, we've got Davidson that just developed a team this year, and we've got Baker. So it's getting to the point where we don't have to travel quite so far to get some good competition. In fact, last year, Spanish Fort, I believe, had 4 state champions in the 6A weight class. So that's pretty darn good in a county that's only had wrestling for about an eighth of the time that the rest of the state had.
Yeah, there's great wrestling in Huntsville. There's great wrestling in Birmingham, and then down on the shore. But there are those pockets in between that we need to fill in.
It's tough.
From Montgomery down to
it is.
Yeah,
there's that area there that is pretty tough. It's smaller schools. Finding coaches that know wrestling in a area where there is no college wrestling other than Huntington College is a challenge. I'm from Missouri, and there's wrestling on every corner. Basketball is the other sport in Missouri. And there's no shortage of experienced coaches because the pipeline from high school into colleges is very high. So you get a lot of college wrestlers that come back and coach in states, Midwestern states. We don't get that in the South because we just don't have the wrestling schools when the SEC dropped wrestling. One thing in particular that's of note, there's never been a college that has dropped wrestling that also has had a corresponding girls wrestling program. So what does that tell us? That tells us that if schools continue to promote girls wrestling, it will increase the chances that both boys wrestling will be solvent in college, in addition to adding wrestling in schools where there isn't already a wrestling team.
All right, men's coaches, college coaches, take note. You want to protect your program, get a girls team.
That is absolutely right. And of course, it would be the ultimate dream of all of us who live here to have the SEC add both boys and girls wrestling into their schools. You know, we've got very large schools in the SEC that can certainly support a girls and a boys wrestling team. But that's probably a whole nother discussion, that can of worms that we don't need to be opening right now.
So what is the task force doing to help retention, which is the biggest problem that I've seen in boys and girls wrestling, is getting kids to come back, especially after middle school?
You know, it's just about promoting the sport from the level of the school, because when it comes down to it, it's going to be the coaches who, if the coach believes in the sport and believes in growing the sport, then it will go into a large amount of recruiting. And having a good rapport with the wrestling coach, with the other coaches, is also very important. I think we've got an injury timeout here.
Your coach looks like he could lift a house.
He does, doesn't he?
Yes.
But yeah, I think if we just keep promoting the girls or any of the wrestling at the local level, certainly at the club level, and if these coaches have good rapports, and I do believe they do with other sports will see the value that wrestling has crossing over into other sports. And you know, when it comes to economically, it's about the cheapest sport to run. You just need a space. In our case, we wrestle in a cafeteria. You need a mat or two, and that's about it. There isn't a whole lot of equipment needed for this sport. Most of the wrestlers buy their own shoes, buy their own headgear, and so when it comes to a very cost-effective sport, this one tops. This one's a topper.
And the way you have to coach girls is different from the way you coach boys. Not technique-wise, but I believe that mentally the way you coach a girl is completely different. And you have to be extremely positive and build them up all the time and be proud of them. And if you do those things, they'll run through a wall for you.
That is a very good statement, and coaches will tell you this, that when a girl trusts you as a coach, when they trust you, they will do anything for you. Look at this.
Looks like the Daphne wrestler's in a good position here.
There
and
she is
victory.
with the pin. Wow, that was a match.
Don't give up. You never know. There, yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Jeff Coat there, with her after the match, and look, all these girls are around her, giving her a big high five and a hug. That's team, that's family right there.
They'll be back next year.
They'll definitely be back. You feel that feeling. You put your hand in the air one time in the middle of that circle, and you're probably going to be back the next time.
I think that's why Gabby loved wrestling, because all the boys on her team were incredibly supportive and cheered her on, and they made her feel special. And, you know, she just loved that camaraderie.
Absolutely. And the boys are fantastic about it. We had a boy wrestler here talking a little bit earlier about how it's the same. These girls are part of the team. It's a girls' team, a boys' team. It's a wrestling team, and that's how the boys view this. But that's also you coach that embraces gender, them the same, and establishes coach lead, the team will follow. All right, so this is the 120-pound weight class. We've got Freeman, 7th grader, 2-2 from Northside Methodist, and we have Kelly, a senior, 1-1 Northside Methodist. No, I'm fine. Thank you. I'm going to be sitting all the way home.
More locking hands. He missed that one. Oh, he didn't. It's about the most common rules violation for a beginner. Well, we thank you all for hanging with us for the last 3 hours, and it looks like we're going to just keep rolling.
Well, when we went from 2 mats to 1, we just doubled the time on
That
our
made our
tournament
life
here.
easier, that's for sure.
Right.
And once we stop having technical issues, then we could start having fun. I wonder how the girls choose their hairstyle for wrestling. Is it change every match, or is it a lucky hairstyle they got to go with each time? I mean, you would know better than me.
You know, I think there's a lot of that. I think if they've had their first win and they're in double braids, then they stay with double braids. Mm-hmm. I think athletes are fairly superstitious as a lot. So I'm sure these girls are no different.
But if they lost, would they go to triple braids or a single braid?
Now that's the question. Right.
Looks like Coach Wilson's having a burger. I'm a little jealous right now. I'm going to have to take Terry out to eat right after this. Oh, look at that. Sportsmanship on the same team.
Gotta love that.
They'll be back next year,
They'll
too.
be back.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Anaya.
Here's Anaya. This 120-pound
Everyone
weight
wants
class.
a piece of Anaya today.
This 120-pound weight class, I think it has the most wrestlers. I don't have the roster, but definitely the most. All right, we've got Cherkop, 7th grader.
This is the youngest of the Vines siblings.
Yes.
Yanni being the oldest, Kiowa in the middle. They're all dominant. Rosita Vines is in the stands cheering them on, as she always does. She was my assistant with the Alabama Wrestling Chicks.
Excellent.
When we were at the Warrior Wrestling
So she
Club.
must love seeing this.
Yeah, she used to do judo in her youth. And I believe her family's from Iceland, which is where they get all the interesting names from.
Their names are beautiful.
And she speaks Icelandic, if that's the language. Which is very interesting, because
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like
is.
anything I've ever heard before. I'm pretty sure that's where Santa gets his reindeer from, is Iceland.
You know, we're going to say that because where else would they come from?
Except we all know.
You haven't been off.
Oh, there
the mat
goes
yet.
Sean with the burger, and he
and a big smile.
didn't bring me one,
I
as
think,
usual.
You know, I think he has smiled more at this tournament than I've ever seen him smile at a tournament. I've watched him for a few years.
Well, we did a duel. Greg and I covered his duel at Thompson against Hoover a couple of years ago.
Now that's pretty. That's
which
an
is the
intense.
Vision Quest duel.
Now that's the rivalry
Yeah,
for sure.
and,
That's pretty intense.
The whole time, he stood with us at the table with a headset on and let his assistants coach the whole match, and he just chilled. Very interesting
well, you
style.
know, the mark of a
Yeah.
head coach who trusts his assistants is tells a lot about his coaching team.
His assistants are fantastic.
Absolutely.
Especially Riley Pike, I have a great affection for because he was a personal coach of my son. Given him countless private lessons and made him into a better wrestler. And Anaya gets a takedown.
She's a takedown technician.
Yeah.
She also knows how to leg ride excellent. Naya with the quick
And
pin.
another victory for Anaya Vines.
As much as she's wrestled tonight, she hasn't actually been on the mat very long because her pins are quick.
Vegas stopped
Great
taking
future.
bets on her winning state this year.
Right. I'm going to grab.
About to interview the Daphne coach.
Yourself to those who are watching and tell us what this tournament means for you tonight with your girls.
All right, I'm Coach Greg Jeffcoat. This is my 24th year of coaching wrestling in the state of Alabama. This is my first year at Daphne High School. We've been able to amass a new program here. We've got 70 kids out for wrestling right now, 9 of those being girls. I'm super excited about the girls program. Super excited to watch girls wrestling grow in the state of Alabama. I hope in time that all coaches will jump on board that with the same enthusiasm as a lot of us have. You know that if you love wrestling, it doesn't matter who's wrestling. You know, you want to help anybody that loves the sport the way you do, and that's how I am. So I'm a firm believer that you know, it's our job as ambassadors of the sport to grow the sport and to help whoever God puts in front of us. Whoever comes out, that's who we're supposed to coach, and so that's, and if you know me, and that's just how I am.
Yes.
So I'd like to get as many girls, guys, just as many wrestlers as I can. More people passionate about the sport, the better wrestling is.
What did you do in particular to recruit so many girls? Maybe give advice to a coach who says, how can I get girls out?
The biggest advice, I don't know. We've got so many great coaches in the state of Alabama. I'm not going to ever speak on what some of these coaches should do. When you got guys like Matt Hicks.
That's a good point.
And Billy
Right.
Hughes and those guys out there. But here's what I know. A lot of the great coaches in Alabama, Coach Pruitt and all those guys, we just love wrestling.
Right.
And I really think kids can read when people are passionate about a sport, but I think they can also read when people are passionate about helping people. And
Excellent.
they're passionate about building character. They're passionate about their culture, and it's just that thought of wanting to be along to something that can make you a better person as well as a better athlete. I think that just attracts people.
I think that's right. Well, I see you've got 2 of them on the mat, so you
I
probably
do.
need to go coach.
Yeah, 2 kids equal one mad mama, so we're just going to get out there as quick as we can.
Thank you
All
for your
right,
time.
thank you.
Appreciate it. I did not see who got the pin there, but we'll figure
Me
that one out.
either.
Looks like Hannah Mcneese got the pin over Primo, Daphne, teammates.
The beautiful Terry, future Mrs. Allen, just walked in, and I was just dazzled by her and couldn't focus on
Oh,
the
no,
match.
she's getting blushed.
Yeah. You can see why she likes me.
All right. Next up, we have 225-pound weight class. We've got Crow, 8th grader Thompson, and we've got Sasser, a junior, 1-1 from Daphne.
I wonder if any of the girls have snuck over to the boys' tournament to see what's going
Well,
on.
I feel like we've lost some attendance here.
Virtually the entire Thompson team, other than the people coming up, have left the gym.
I believe so.
Do you know who we have up?
Yep, we've got Sasser, Daphne, Junior.
Oh, you said this
Crow,
before.
yep.
I'm sorry. I am getting older.
That makes 2 of us.
Yeah.
We're not getting any younger.
And there's the pin for
That's Daphne with the pin over Thompson.
So Terry did miss all the pets that you have. We'll have to tell her later. Make her watch it back. She has 4 guinea pigs, 12 roosters, just roosters, 14 snakes, and a llama. Yeah.
Here on the mat, we've got Glover, a senior, 3-2 from Thompson, and another Thompson wrestler, Sims, a freshman, 2-4. And quick pin there.
Did that look like any of the snakes that you own?
What's that?
Did that look like any of the snakes
It
you
did
own?
not at all.
No.
Not at all.
You don't have a constrictor then, apparently.
It is not. We have a All right, here on the mat we've got from Thompson, Eastless, 8th grade, 1 and 2, and Hill, another 8th grader, 0 and 2 from Daphne. This is the 140-pound weight class.
I got to turn off that second camera. I keep forgetting to do that. There we go. Oh, wow. A reversal by Thompson. And locking hands.
We're seeing a few locking hands.
I think
tonight,
I know what Sean's
pretty
going to work
typical.
on this week.
It is coming from Thompson, I know.
Yeah, a lot of them from
But
Thompson.
that is typical for first wrestlers.
I mean, it does keep them down longer.
It works.
Yeah.
We'll call it intimidation.
They probably get confused because in freestyle, that's perfectly fine.
Absolutely right. Encouraged even.
We just have to have them throw them a few times and get some 4 or 5 point throws in there. Does he?
I think the wrestlers who play football, Greco's their favorite. Trying to see if the team points are up.
I think the boys tournament might be over.
I think they're about done.
The boys have just walked in the gym. Uh-oh, a third locking hands. That's going to be 2 points. Yeah. One more time is a disqualification. I think you let her up. That's what I would coach right here. Let her up. Yeah, and then I would let her up again, just to make sure. Oh, look at that! Okay. No points on that one. Hop over. Gonna hop over. Yeah. 4th violation. Full Nelson on that one.
And that's a win by technical violation for Daphne over Thompson.
Well, it's another learning opportunity for this
You
young
win and you
wrestler.
learn.
Yep,
Yep.
that's right. There are no losses in wrestling.
Next up, we've got the 150-pound weight class. Robinson, a sophomore, 2 and 2 from Northside Methodist, and Morton, 8th grader, 3 and 6 from WS Neal.
This is the young lady that had the victory that was taken away because it was after the end of the period and then lost.
She's,
Yeah.
she wants that match back, but if she can't have that match,
Yeah.
she'll take this one. And here she goes with it.
And that's her second takedown, I believe.
What's been neat to watch all these coaches here is when they're coaching these girls, there is no difference. I mean, they're coaching them just as if they would coaching their corresponding boys. Because at the end of the day, it's the same sport. WS Neal with the big win in Penn.
Another tough loss for that Northridge girl. I hope she sticks with it because she has a lot of potential. Wow. Look at that takedown.
What a takedown. This is Adams, an 8th grader, 2-0 from Daphne.
Is this the one we interviewed earlier?
This is the one.
Her
Hudson,
dad's on his
freshman,
feet.
2 and 3. Look at that. You know, I would love to get that picture of them. I'm going to use my phone because watching this family watch her is incredible.
Oh, it's a cradle. She had a cradle. She lost it.
This is a match. Look at that.
She's going to be one to watch. All right, I'm looking forward to the fist bump. All right, she's going to the stands. It's coming. Bump, bump, and the thing. Whatever that is. They did it again. Wow. Powerful takedown. That might be fastest pin. How many seconds do we get?
That Kaylee Holder has pinned all 4 of her opponents in less than 5 seconds each time.
All right, so let's remember that name.
You're going to remember Kaylee. She's going to have her hand up at a state tournament very soon. I can guarantee that one.
Sean Wilson's daughter is coming up.
And here's a thought. With the state championship being before the boys state champion, and we'll be crowning state champions this year, although I don't like to use the word unofficial, but it's not a sanctions championship, but still a state championship no less. We will have girls who may represent their schools as the first wrestling state champion of that particular school.
Well, I hope they celebrate it the next week at the boys state tournament.
Absolutely.
And I hope that these schools will put banners or their picture up on the wall.
I think they will.
Young Miss Wilson with the single leg. See if she can elevate that and finish it. Got that single leg one more time. She should run the pipe here. Oh, she's going for the trip, and she's got it. Now 3-2. And we have a win by Thompson.
Next up, we've got 105-pound weight class. Bear 7th, 2-1 from Thompson. Weisman 7th, 2-1 from Thompson.
Dr. Julie came back, left me all alone here. I didn't know what to
Were
do.
you feeling lonely?
I was just saying all kinds of random stuff. So my dog has a wet nose. I'm thinking he might be sick. Is that a problem?
That is a wives' tale. That is an old, and I hate that term, old wives' tale. That's terrible. There is no correlation between sickness and health and the wetness or lack thereof of your dog's nose.
The crustiness is not an indicator either.
Nope.
Man, I'm learning so much today. I'm glad
Right?
I'm learning more about animals than wrestling.
Well, I personally know more about animals than wrestling myself.
As long as you don't tell me that the groundhog thing isn't real.
You know, we're just going to keep that. I'll keep that quiet.
Okay.
We won't talk about that one.
Good match. We have some more Thompson on Thompson violence out here. I don't know what this move is. It's sort of like a Peterson, but not exactly. She's got a 5-point move here.
And
Thompson wins again.
Wins again.
Man, you could almost call it.
You can.
Listen in.
Next up, 120-pound weight class. We've got Cherkoff 7th, 0-3 from Daphne, and we've got Freeman 7th, 3-2 from Northside Methodist.
Oh, nice attempt.
That's Northside Methodist with the pin. Next up, in the 120-pound weight class, we have Kelly, a senior, 1-2, Northside Methodist. We have Lasser, a 7th grader, 2-1 from Daphne. And I'm going to sign off to do another video.
Young Miss Lasser is up. I get to commentate again. I like the stance in motion. It's very impressive.
In deep for the takedown. Climbing the ladder. Oh, coach calls for a cross-face cradle, and she complies. Oh, didn't lock it up. She's a good listener. Now she's got the half in. Good defense here. She's trying to switch, follow her coach's instructions. Oh, no. She's going to have to walk home after locking hands. I would think that your daughter would be a good leg rider with all the horseback riding she does. We had to teach her that. Oh. Oh boy. Rolls through on the reversal. Technical violation for the full Nelson. We've evened up the score on locking hands. She may not have to walk home after all. Oh, they're both walking home. I see. Short time for Miss Lasser. Oh, and the period ended. She's going to have to try it again. A very exciting first period. I'm fairly sure the referee gave the locking hands to the other person both times, which is probably a mistake, but at least she gets to keep her Popeye sandwich. A beautiful takedown. Climbing the ladder again. There it is. Got the half in deep. She's got her flat. And it's all over. Lasser for the win. This is a great match. Julie, Coach wants you. Coach is pointing to you. Northridge victory over Thompson. We have another Thompson on Thompson match. I'm predicting another Thompson win. I'm never wrong on these predictions. Oh, they got team scores up there? So team scores are Thompson 92, Daphne in second place with 80 points. North Side, I've been saying it wrong all night. I said Northridge. North Side Methodist 47 points. WS Neal with 18, which isn't bad for the number of wrestlers they have. Well done. Well done. Were you caught locking hands back there?
I didn't realize it at the moment, but if I go back and watch the video, I probably did. So.
Yeah, your mother did say you're going to have to walk home, but she would still get you the Popeyes sandwich.
I think the sandwich is better than the ride home.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take you home because I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Yep, I called it. Another Thompson victory. How do I do it? Now, I'm not going to call this next match because it's Thompson versus Daphne. So, not really sure who's going to come out on top, but I'm excited to find out. Apparently it's Lisa versus Hannah, according to the crowd yelling. It looks like Lisa from Thompson has the first takedown of the match. Oh, this is our last match. All you wrestling fans out there, so enjoy this one. It's a close one already. And she's almost up. Oh, she had a great stand-up. Another locking hands. Another person is walking home. This is terrible. We have all these buses and no one's going to be on them. All right. I believe the score is 3-2 Thompson, but I can't see the scoreboard. And she's out. Well, I'm glad we got a good match as our last match. Try to slide by. That was good. Oh, and a nice takedown by Thompson. Short time.
Period 1, 6 Thompson, 2 Daphne. 4 seconds left.
The Thompson girls are going crazy on the sideline, and that's the end of the first period. Let's put this camera on the Thompson team because they're having fun. Oh, this isn't turning. There we go. And now we got the Thompson team has come back into the gym and cheering on this last match for Lisa versus Hannah.
That's 8-2 Thompson, second period.
And that does
It was
it.
a great match and a great ending to a great night.
Well, that certainly was fun,
That
Julie.
was a great night. This will be the first of many.
What are your final thoughts on this historic girls event?
You know, I hardly slept at all last night. And Scott, you said the same thing. You couldn't sleep. I was so excited about this. And this was everything that I really imagined it to be and more. This is what it's all about. We've got girls, coaches, parents, giving these girls an opportunity that a year ago, 20 years ago, that opportunity was not there. So kudos to Alabama for just putting the hard work in that needed to be done for these kids.
I'd like to say this referee did a fantastic job.
Wonderful. He's a very consistent referee, and he's worked his butt off all night. So, and I think he's coming back tomorrow. But we'll be doing this again.
Yes, we will.
Definitely. If we can all hope. Here goes JT talking a little bit.
Hey, you did a great job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Tournament champion at 120 is Anaya Vines of Thompson. All right, at 130, runner-up is Megan Townsend Maynor of Thompson. Tournament champion is Kara Whitehead of Northside Methodist. At 140 pounds, second place is Khalees Hill of Daphne. Tournament champion is Brinley Glover of Thompson. Just the placers are all, yeah. I think so. At the 150-pound weight class, runner-up is Taylor Hudson of Thompson. Tournament champion is Sage Adams of Daphne. At 165, runner-up is Megan Chandler of Northside Methodist. Tournament champion, Kaylee Holder of Daphne. .225, runner-up is Rachel Crow of Thompson. Tournament champion is Emily Sasser of Daphne. Overall team race. All right, it was a really tight race for first place. First and second place teams are separated by 12 points. Okay. The tournament champion with the overall team score of 92 points is Thompson. There you go. Hey, after they get done, if we could get a picture with every medalist just on the mat, you know, mask, social distance, all that stuff, but absolutely.
This is Scott Allen with Julie Lasser for Matburn, and we hope you enjoyed the first high school girls wrestling tournament in Alabama. We'll catch you next time on Matburn.